Míle mágad. Just on féidir leat anam a chuir síos le haghaidh promised legislation as well, not a whole. I can't Corley, it's absolutely outrageous that after all the debates, all of the documentaries, all of the reports, all of the commissions that have happened, that people still don't know who exactly they are and can't access their birth and medical records. People are growing old, wondering why or if their mother is still alive. People are being asked by doctors daily about their family health histories, and they're facing into serious health issues, and they simply don't know. Small things, people are accessing insurance or bank accounts, have been asked for their date of birth, and they don't know the answer to this. And each time that they're asked, the reality of what the system has done to them hits home. And for many people, the TUSLA, the HSE and the state bodies know the answers to their questions, but won't share this information with the survivors. And that has to be, under any understanding of this, absolutely outrageous, Minister. The major question for the government is why this has happened. And I'll be honest with you, I'm worried that the Minister for Children has been captured by his department. Now, I believe that there has been a significant resistance within the Department of Children to do the right thing by these people who have suffered so much. I understand that there are some people within the department who do not want to investigate these illegal adoptions. I understand that the department has had many files on illegal adoptions, but in the past has not shared these files with previous ministers. Many people are frustrated about the report of the Commission, but fail to see that the Commission were not asked properly to investigate the illegal adoptions. The issue of illegal birth registrations was admitted from the terms of reference of the Mother and Maybe Home Commission investigation in 2014. Why was this? And if we're looking to find out the source of the problems here, we need to answer this particular question. The terms of reference were dealt with within the Minister's department at that time, and it took 6 months to draft, and yet it did not directly seek to investigate this issue. My understanding is that the government maybe has finally woken up to the resistance within that particular department. And now I understand, Minister, that you are actually outsourcing the drafting of this legislation. Minister, why is the department outsourcing the drafting of this legislation? This is very unusual. It's not the norm, I understand. I believe it's going to cost €250,000 for the government to do this. Why? Maybe you could answer that question. The issue of outsourcing is important. And to whom is the drafting of this legislation, if it is so, being outsourced to? Even after all of this morning, the Minister was on radio and he equivocated with regards whether or not the new legislation would actually give access to information to people. The Minister has the adoption orders. And I understand, Minister, that you could release those adoption orders to these people. People have said that maybe it's not constitutional. But if the new bill that the Minister is drafting seeks to do roughly the same thing and is constitutional, it will be possible now to give those adoption orders to these individuals who so desperately seek them. I welcome the fact that the government has published a review into illegal adoptions. But the fact is not lost on anybody that this was commissioned in 2018, Minister. The idea that the review was completed, that it was not brought to Cabinet at the time, that it was not published, and it was only published after RTE ran an expose on illegal adoptions last week, that's not lost on anybody. And if you look at the timeline of that, and you ask, what is the driving force of that particular timeline? Is it the government? Is it the Minister? Is it the department? Reality is no, because the key driving force of that timeline is the media's expose of these shocking occurrences. So either the Minister is a driver in the direction of this department, seeking to make sure that these issues are resolved for people, or the Minister is a passenger on that particular vehicle. And that's a serious question that the Minister has to ask, because it is our job in this House to hold the political establishment to account. But it's also our job as elected representatives to hold the departments to account. Now, there are many fine people within the Department of Children, many people who wanted to achieve what is being slowly achieved currently by Leinster House. And there's no doubt that the new political space that we're in on this issue is helping to drive that agenda within the department. But we also have to hold departments and senior staff within departments to account on these key issues, because in many ways they are the permanent governments. And it is radically important that the permanent government do what the elected representatives of this country ask them to do and tell them to do. Because if it is the reverse, we're never going to get to the bottom of these particular scandals. We're never going to be able to resolve these key human questions for the many people who throughout the country still don't know who exactly they are. And I would ask the Minister to make sure that he is part of the driving of that agenda in the future. Garb Mahagat.